In the early 14th century, Europe was already struggling to survive. The climate had grown colder. Harvests failed repeatedly. Famine weakened entire populations. Cities were overcrowded, unsanitary, and noisy with life and disease. Medieval society believed the world was ordered by God, ruled by kings, and explained by tradition. Then something arrived that none of those systems could explain or stop. Within a single generation, tens of millions would die, not in war, not in conquest, but in silence. This is the story of the Black Death, and how it shattered the medieval world from the inside. Medieval Europe was not resilient. Most people lived at the edge of survival. Diets were poor and repetitive. Clean water was rare. Medical knowledge relied on ancient texts and superstition. The Great Famine of 1315 to 1317 had already killed millions. Those who survived were weaker. When the plague arrived, it didn't meet resistance. It met exhaustion. Society was a house built of dry wood. All it needed was a spark. The Black Death was not a local disaster, it was global. Trade routes connected Europe to Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. The same trade networks that brought wealth, spices, and silk also carried fleas, rats, and bacteria. The plague bacterium lived quietly in rodents for centuries. It moved when humans moved. Caravans, ships, ports. By the time anyone realized something was wrong, the disease was already everywhere. In 1347, ships docked in Mediterranean ports. Most sailors were dead, others were dying. Witnesses described black swellings, fever, delirium, bodies collapsing within days. Cities panicked. Some closed gates. Some prayed. Some fled. None of it worked. The disease was already inside the walls. Medieval medicine had no concept of bacteria. Doctors believed illness came from bad air, imbalance of bodily fluids, divine punishment. Treatments included bloodletting, herbs, burning incense. Mortality rates reached 30–60% in many cities. Some regions lost more. People didn't ask if someone would die. They asked when. As death spread, daily routines vanished. Markets closed. Church bells rang constantly. Mass graves replaced funerals. Parents abandoned children. Children abandoned parents. Fear overwhelmed love. Entire villages vanished, not destroyed, just emptied. Medieval records simply stopped mentioning them. People needed explanations. When science fails, fear fills the gap. Jewish communities were accused of poisoning wells. Thousands were tortured and murdered, despite papal statements defending them. The plague didn't create hatred, it revealed it. The church was central to medieval life, but during the plague, prayers failed, clergy died, rituals offered no protection. Faith didn't disappear, but absolute trust did. People began questioning authority. This doubt would echo centuries later in reform and revolution. When the plague finally slowed, Europe was transformed. Labor was scarce. Workers demanded higher wages. Serfs left landowners. Feudal bonds weakened. The Black Death accelerated the end of medieval feudalism. Death redistributed power. Survivors inherited land, wealth, and opportunity. Art changed. Skeletons danced in paintings. Death appeared in literature. Time felt fragile. People no longer saw life as guaranteed. The Renaissance did not rise despite the Black Death. It rose because the old world had cracked. The Black Death was not just a pandemic. It was a reset. It destroyed assumptions about power, faith, labor, and life. It reminds us of something uncomfortable. Societies don't change when they want to. They change when they are forced to. Pandemics expose what already exists and accelerate what is already breaking. The Black Death did exactly that. Rapid history, the past, told fast. The climate had grown colder. Famine left bodies thin and tired. Streets were narrow, unsanitary, and perfect for sickness to spread. Trade brought silks, spices, and wool, and unseen passengers. From port to port, the sea became a highway for an invisible killer. Fever, chills, buboes, a rapid, agonizing assault, days from life to death. Rituals failed, mass graves replaced sacred farewells, power shifted, labor gained leverage, feudal bonds weakened. Out of catastrophe came questioning, and eventually, rebirth. The medieval world cracked, and a different world began. It forced a radical reset, and from the ashes of the old, a new world rose.